Okay, I just watched India's natural hair video, and I'm just going to make hopefully a really quick response. Yeah. But I would just first off like to say I enjoyed the video. I liked the avenue that India was coming from. I understood where you were coming from, and I appreciate it. And I can respect alternative views as well. I know that people want togetherness. People do. They want togetherness. And after studying psychology for 6 years, and I'm still in psychology, aspiring for my PhD within the next 2 to 3 years, we would like to say that there are no color barriers. We would love to say that, but unfortunately we cannot. And in psychology, we are taught that, and it really is something that you learn because you have to go through so many empirical studies. If you try to say that you are colorblind and that race does not exist, you do yourself an injustice. Because when you say that you don't see color and that it shouldn't be about color, you basically denounce the fact that prejudice exists, that stereotypes exist, and that racism exists. Would we like to say that it doesn't exist? Sure, who wouldn't? Who wouldn't want to live in a perfect world where everybody loved everybody? We all want that. I want that. I pray for that, meditate on that, and I exude it in my life. But that's just not the way that it is. And as far as India's point goes, and I concur, because she was not saying that you're not a woman, you're not included in this circle, in this arena, and that we do not have a point of relatedness. She was not saying that. She was just saying that in this particular facet, there is a group of women that have gone on this journey together and are embracing this journey together, and some of them have cried on this journey together, and they have experienced chemical burns from relaxers for years. They have experienced burns from pressing combs for years. They have experienced breakage and thin edges because of weaves and glue and all of that, trying to keep up with the standard of beauty. That's what she's saying to me. Now, if I'm wrong, please let me know. It's not about excluding a woman, because as a woman, we are the minority anyways. And then as a black woman, you are more of the minority. And if you don't believe that or agree with that, you can definitely go to the Department of Health and Human Services.org, and you can find empirically supported studies that will tell you the exact same thing. You can also go to the WHO.org and find studies that tell you the exact same thing, and there are tons and tons more that you can go on Google Scholar and just put in the gender gap, wage gap, race gap, anything like that, and you will definitely find that to be true. So it's not saying that we still live in 1920 or anything like that. No, it's not about that. Is it good to know your history? Absolutely. I know my history. I love my history. My history makes me who I am. It makes me fight even a little bit harder, and it also makes me love a little bit harder, because I have nothing against anyone. I was born in the 80s. I do not know what it felt like to live in the 20s. I do not know what it felt like to live in the 60s. What I do know is what it feels like to be a woman of color in 2014. I know what it feels like to be an employee of color right now. I know what it feels like to be a student of color right now. So it's not about living in the past, because all of those issues are still here. They changed form. I know I did a study not too long ago, and my forefront was that slavery never ended, it just changed its form. But we have the opportunity to have such a platform. We're not going to get out and go start fires or cause riots and things like that. No, it's just the togetherness of a race. It's the togetherness of a people. It's the togetherness of a womanhood, a sisterhood. And it's not saying that the white women are not our sisters, because they are. We love you. I love you. I have white people in my family. And hey, as a matter of fact, India does too. They posted their video about hair months ago, and they had this big multiracial family, so they're not discriminating. And for somebody to even insinuate that in the natural hair community that we are trying to discriminate, that's ludicrous. It just completely is. It's crazy. We just have different hair textures and different struggles. That is it. And it's not to say that we are trying to be better than, that we are trying to make anybody less than what we are. It's not saying that. It's just pointing out the fact that we have had certain struggles that another race did not have. And that's okay. That's just the truth. Because there's one thing about having a dream and another thing about acknowledging the truth. And like I said, if you don't believe me, you can Google Scholar. Google Scholar, and then type in whatever it is that you're looking for and whatever it is that you want to see, because there is definitely a race issue. Do we like it? No, I don't like it. But do I have to acknowledge it? Yes, I have to acknowledge it. It's there. And I also, one other comment that I want to acknowledge quickly is someone said, we talk about where the money is going in the hair products and we complain about it, but we still buy them. I'm not complaining. I didn't hear India complain about it. I'm not buying too many of them, but it wasn't a complaint. For the other Houstonians, because I'm in Houston as well, if you listen to 1021 on Sunday Morning Live, Marcus Davis talks about entrepreneurship quite often, as he is one himself, and about where the dollars are going in general. Where is the revenue from your money going in general? You know, is the revenue coming back into the black community? It was not saying don't go shop at Walmart, don't go shop at Whole Foods, don't go shop at Sprouts. It wasn't saying anything like that. It was just the fact of being knowledgeable about where your money is going. Whose pocket is it going into? It's not saying that you just talk about it and complain about it, but you don't do anything about it. Because I can tell you right now, starting a business takes work. It takes money and it takes a backing. And unfortunately, it is not the same standard for a black person in general to go get a loan as it would be for any other race. There's a lot of red tape, and then when your skin might be a certain color, with certain loan companies, you're going to get a higher APR, you're going to get a higher interest rate. It's going to happen. So it takes a lot that goes into that. So let's stop judging each other as black people, because we tend to give each other so much slack. Let's respect each other a little bit more, because I respect my sisters. I respect my white sisters, my Asian sisters, my Hispanic sisters, because we are all sisters. Yet some of us have had a completely different struggle than the others, because there's something that a Mexican woman has gone through that I have not gone through. There's something that a white woman has gone through that I have not gone through. Then there's things that I have gone through that they have not gone through. But if I go to I can go to walk on the street, and every third black woman that I come across has probably had my exact same struggle, because we came from the same culture, we came from the same background more than likely. So that is the point of the movement. It's about finding yourself, knowing yourself, and loving yourself, because that does open us up to loving other people. And honestly, I think that does make certain other races scared, because if we actually, as black women in this instance, came together and realized who we were and really did start to love ourselves, that bond could be so unbreakable, and so many things could happen, so many things could get done if we started loving and respecting each other and pulling in the truth, not pulling in assumptions and personal feelings, because my personal feelings don't have anything to do with it. I came to just give out facts. It's about the facts. And that's something that we all need to be knowledgeable of, and we need to respect each other in that instance and call it what it is, and move forward and grow from it and grow together. Not saying that we're going to go get these pieces of land and get our 40 acres and a mule and get away from everybody. No, we're going to work together, but we're going to work together even more amongst ourselves and stop being so critical of each other and ourselves, and learn to take constructive criticism and learn when somebody is just giving you a side, and learn how to listen to each other. Because I might not agree with you, but I can listen, because you might have something that I need to hear. You might have a story that is going to help me out. You might have some additional facts that's going to help me out. So we need to come together and learn and grow, and not be so judgmental and hypocritical, and then don't be so quick to speak when we don't know what we're talking about, because that's how things get started. And we cause that hate with each other to grow, and we have to get out of that. So at the end of the day, kudos to you, India. I have been a silent subscriber for a while, but I just had to embellish on your facts and embellish on your point of view, and I appreciate it. And ladies, let's live, love, and grow.